Hi, it's Michelle. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be doing a tag video today. It's called the Book Acquiring Tag, and my friend Kristin is the original creator, and she also tagged me in this. Number 1, do you plan your book purchases ahead or impulse buy? I guess I plan them ahead. If you've been watching for a little while, you know that each quarter of the year or each season, I do a video with all the new release books that I'm excited about. Usually once each month, I'll buy one of those new release books, and then I also get book of the month. Sometimes the books that I've mentioned in those videos are also a part of book of the month. So those are definitely all planned out. So I guess what I'm really saying is I don't really plan my purchases ahead of time. It's pretty last minute. At the very end of each month, I select my book of the month selection, and then I also pick out a new release that I'm going to get, and everything else is completely impulse. Number 2, how do you decide what books to buy? I have the list that I just mentioned each season of the books that are new release books. And then I have a wish list on my phone and a wish list on Amazon that are all the books that have been recommended to me or that I've seen in videos or read about in magazines or that kind of thing that I really want to read. Those are usually older books. If I do happen to go looking for books somewhere, I always refer to those lists to pick out what I'm going to read. I don't typically just look at a book and pick it up off the shelf and read the back and decide to buy it. Number 3, what is your philosophy on where you shop? Online versus in person, large versus small, physical, digital, or audio, new versus used, etc. As I mentioned, I get book of the month each month. I do get a new book each month that's a new release. I usually go to Barnes & Noble to get those, and I go in the store to buy them. However, I do get them online at Amazon sometimes as well. Most of the books that I buy, though, are used, and those are usually from Better World Books online, or there's a used bookstore in Vegas that I really like going to. And then I also pay for a monthly Scribd subscription, and I could read digital books on there, but I like paper books, or I like to listen to books, so I only get audiobooks on there. Number 4, what about little free libraries? Do you think about them? Have you used one? Why or why not? I've never thought about using one. I have thought about dropping books off at them, but I don't think I'll be using them. Marty's down here again. Hi, baby. The reason I will never get a book there is I am fortunate enough to be able to purchase books, but in the past, I have had years of my life where I did not have the money to buy any books, and I had a very small selection of books, and I would reread everything in my collection over and over again. Because of that, I want to leave those books for people that really need them. I don't feel like I really need them. And if you've seen my TBR stack or my TBR shelf over there, you know I don't really need any more books than I have. Anyway, did you just hear my husband Brad? He said, no, I don't. Number 5, how do you feel after acquiring a book? Do you share like in a book haul or diary? I definitely do book hauls, but I do not normally write it in a diary or anything when I write or when I buy a book, unless it's like a date night and we go to Barnes & Noble together and we get coffee and we spend time perusing and getting books. Then I will write down in a journal when we went and what books each of us got. It's this weird thing that I do. Number 6, how do you feel looking at your books that haven't been read? Does it matter if it's currently a lot or a little amount? I'm going to turn you so you can see. These are the books that I haven't read. Or a couple of them are books that I want to reread. But most of them I haven't read yet. This is a lot. I definitely acknowledge this is a lot of books. But you know what? I still feel happy and excited after acquiring a book. It is my way of spoiling myself is to get more books. After going through that time in my life, which was probably about 10 years, where I couldn't afford books, and having to reread books so much, I think I do this as a way to always have books to read if I ever get to where I can't afford to buy books again. I have this nice arsenal that I can turn to. And I feel like even if I do read all of them, and the ones behind me that I've already read, these ones, I feel like that's okay because there's so many of them. I'm probably never going to get bored reading them over and over again with this many books. Number 7, how do you decide what number of unread books is the right amount? I don't. I don't think that there can be too much. Some women can't have enough shoes. Some women can't have enough jewelry. I'm that way with books. And the way that I justify that is books are nowhere near as expensive as shoes and jewelry. Number 8, do you have a TBR game or process for reading them? I do have a TBR game. I've done it in some of my TBR videos. It's a card game, and I've got a different trope for each card and a deck of cards. And what I do is I roll 2 die, and whatever number I come at, I just shuffle that many, and whatever card comes up is what I pick. That's part of why I have so many books over here on my TBR shelf, is I want to make sure that any of these tropes I have books for, and I would like to have at least 2 books for each trope to pick from, which means I have to have at least 104 books, with there being 52 cards in a deck. So that's how I justify this. By the way, if you want this TBR card game, I did create it myself. You can send me an email if you want. I have my email address down in the description box. Just let me know that you would like to have a copy of it, and I'll send you a PDF that you can print out. Number 9, do you have a book buying problem? Yes. We've definitely come to that conclusion in this video. If so, what is the nature of it, and can it be adjusted? Well, like I said, it started after going through so many years of not being able to get books. Now that I'm able to get books, I get whatever books I want when I want, and I don't feel even remotely guilty about it. I feel like it's a harmless hobby. I'm collecting books, and all they do is expand my knowledge when I read them. It's not, I'm not hurting anyone. So I don't have any interest in changing my book buying nature. Number 10, tag 2 or 3 others to ponder their book buying process. I'm going to tag my friends AJ at AJ Dunn Reads and Writes and M at Emily L. Terry. Number 11, know you are awesome just as you are. Being a book lover is amazing. It really is amazing to be a book lover, isn't it? I love the community here on BookTube. I love the group of friends that I have gained here, and I love chatting with you guys about books. Sorry about Marty's tail flying around the bottom of the screen so much, but he just loves doing these videos, even though you can't see him. In my next video, I'm going to be doing a tour of my library. And then in the video after that, it will be my TBR video for the month of April. So be sure to look out for those. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Happy reading. Bye.